Hey everyone, in today's video we are going to show you
how we care for our seedlings, from watering them to hardening them off, the grow light setup and its cost, and our mini house that most of you have easily available in your house. All the seedlings in this video are the ones that we started in the month of January and February. We have made a playlist for that and we will link it on the end screen for your reference. So we keep our seeds indoors till we have germination, and then we move them into our unheated garage here, where we have this small setup of grow lights. We will show you the lumen specification for these grow lights in a minute. Till yesterday, we had these two grow lights right next to each other on this lower shelf. But now that our number of seedlings are growing up, we moved one to the upper shelf. Deciding which grow light to buy can get so complicated. Last year, when we started our seedlings, we had no idea what kind of grow lights we should get because there's so much information out there that it becomes very difficult to know what will work for us. It was already February and we had our seedlings coming up. So while we were figuring out the grow lights, we put our seedlings right next to these tube lights that we have on top of our kitchen countertop, and we noticed that our seedlings were doing just fine. There was no legginess and they were growing pretty healthy. This accidental experiment made us realize that we don't need those fancy complicated grow lights. We found these shop lights at Costco for $29.99. Their lumen rating is 4000K. Lumen rating is a measure of the amount of light emitted by a source, and the K stands for Kelvin. Usually it is said that the grow light should have a lumen rating of 5000K to 6500K, but those higher ratings are needed if we want to produce vegetables and flowers indoors. For us, 4000K rating works just fine because we are trying to grow our seedlings to a decent size and then move them out. Last year, we used these same grow lights and they worked just fine. We had healthy seedlings which matured into healthy plants and gave us nice produce. And while we are at this topic, the windowsill alone doesn't seem to work as well as these grow lights because there is not consistent and enough light coming in. This results in leggy seedlings. We tried it in year 2020, not worth the amount of time and effort. Another thing to mention here is that we keep these shop lights very close to the seedlings. They are about like 3 to 4 inches above our seedlings. This is to ensure they get enough exposure to the light. The chain links and a carabiner came with the shop light. They make it easy to adjust the height of these lights. These lights are plugged in through these plugs that have timer on them set through Wi-Fi. We bought these for our indoor Christmas lights, but the outdoor Christmas light timer would work just fine. We were keeping these lights on for about 11.5 hours daily because of our onion seedlings, as we didn't want them to kick bulb formation just yet. But we have moved them outside now for hardening them off. So now we are going to increase the time of these lights to 16 hours a day. The wall behind these shelves is not white. White walk would reflect the light color onto the seedlings. So we got this white foam board from Dollar Tree and cut it to size to make it fit between these two shelves to help reflect the light. On the sides we have this aluminum foil wrapped around a plastic lid to help us reflect the light. Now towards the outer side of these shelves we have set up these older grow lights that we bought about 3 years ago for our indoor plants. We didn't use these last year and our seedlings did just fine, but they were just lying around idle, so we decided to put them to use. These are not necessary. We have also put a room thermometer here. I think we got it from Dollar Tree, and this gives an idea of what the temperature is inside our garage. This is mostly helpful for nights when the temperature drops pretty low because we noticed that the warm weather seedlings do not like it cold, especially the eggplant seedling. On one such night, we thought it would be just fine to leave them in the garage, but in the morning, a couple of eggplant seedlings were pretty droopy. They did recover once we brought them in and kept them inside all day. Other than that, most of the seedlings seemed to have just fine, and even dahlias and pepper seedlings did fine with low temperatures. This year, we have added this desktop fan and we plan to turn it on for about an hour or two every day. We are just hanging it with our carabiner from the top shelf and will manually move it when we need to change its direction. The idea is to get the seedling strong enough to handle airflow outside. We didn't do this last year, but this is something which is suggested to be done. This fan costed us $3.50 at Walmart on clearance last winter. Sometimes we do get the fungus knot problem. Last year it was because of the peat moss that we used. This year our soil mix is just plain compost, and it did fine till we left an indoor infected plant in garage. So we have these zappers that we leave on during night, and as you can see, they have got these fungus knots zapped. We did the same thing last year and it kept the knot population in control. I think we got a set of these two for camping purposes about 3 years ago, and it costed $15 at Costco.
If you're finding value in this video so far, please do boop the like button to show your support.
Let's talk about watering these seedlings. We prefer to water them from bottom. We fill these two containers with water about halfway through, and we put our seedling modules into these containers one by one whenever watering is needed. We let the container sit there for a couple of hours and allow it to soak all the water, and after that we just move it back to the tray under the grow light. We keep these craft sticks inserted pretty deep in each of our seedling module, and we use this to check if watering is needed or not. We covered this method in one of our seed sowing video on how to avoid overwatering seedlings. We will link that video here so that you can check it out. Now let's look at the process of how we harden these seeds off. Whenever a set of seedlings are ready to move out, we begin by putting them in a shaded area outside, and we make sure to cover them to avoid any damage from squirrels or bunnies. The first day we leave them there for about 3 to 4 hours, and then we move them inside. The next day we left them all in shade over there, and after that we started putting them on a deck when they got more sun. The weather was pretty good, but if it was worse, we would have taken longer to get these seedlings used to outside. Similarly, if we have a smaller seedling in size, for example like these onion seedlings, we just put them in the shade of these large containers for a few hours on first day. We kept them covered by these 2 row covers. In day 2, we left them in shade all day, and from day 3 onwards, they stayed out overnight. Soon we will move them to sunnier area. For some seedlings, for example these beetroot seedlings, as soon as we saw the first seedling emerge, we moved this whole tray outside. We didn't take it to a garage grow light setup because we wanted it to get accustomed to the weather outside from the very beginning. These will soon be transplanted in ground, and the weather is getting better, so there was no point of keeping them in garage. We did the same thing with peas. Now for keeping the warmth in for the seedlings, we use this transparent plastic containers which act as mini greenhouse for us. We found a set of 3 of these containers at Costco for $15, and the best part is that their lid is also transparent. This allows the light in from all directions. If you have an opaque lid, you can just use that as a base and flip the container upside down to get maximum sunlight. We use this kitchen organizing shelf inside here to hold more seedlings vertically. This way we are able to hold more seedlings in here. We keep the lid slightly open to let air in and keep temperature from getting too hot. At night we just close the lid completely so that the warmth can be maintained inside. Keeping the seedlings inside these transparent boxes allow us to move them very easily, especially if the weather is going to be detrimental. It takes us less than 5 minutes to move them from one place to another. In future, we may make a mini greenhouse. We are not sure yet because this system has been working just fine for us. Please share with us in comments your pro tips for seedling care. If you found value in this video, please do like it and subscribe to help our channel grow.
Thanks for watching.